everybody, this is Tambiota and I'm back with the daily review. So today is going to be Q&A part 2 instead of doing family day because I have to go to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So I have a last week I asked you guys to leave down in the comments some questions that you would like to ask, just some things that have been on your mind, maybe that you wanted to know about me, wanted to know a little bit something about me. Well, I got a few questions. That's not my questions, but I got a few of them, mainly about 4. I had some questions someplace else also. I looked at those. I was like, those are good enough, and decided to go along with some of those. And then I'm just gonna add some stuff on my own also. So from Primal Savage and Chris Allen, they kind of had questions that kind of go together. When did you first discover Transformers? That made you a fan? Well, when did you first discover Transformers? What made you a fan? And Chris asked, how long have you been collecting? Well, Transformers, when I first discovered Transformers, I don't know if it was mine or my brother's. I believe that it was my brother's Transformer, and it was a G1 Shockwave. And if you're familiar with that, which you probably are, the G1 Shockwave was a gun. So it transformed into a gun, and it made 2 different sounds depending on which way you slid the little switch on the back. It would make like a pew 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 noise or a pew 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 kind of noise, just depending. And that was the first one. I had that for a while. I remember the arm breaking on it, and I had to fix it. I ended up buying a new one or a junker one and fixing it. And I ended up keeping that for a while, the junker one. Later on, I noticed that the hose was starting to turn like a white color. So I ended up going out and buying, or not buying, but taking that hose off, putting it on my old one and refurbishing it. I ended up having to sell it at one point. I ended up having to sell all of my old G1 Transformers. But that was the first Transformer that I ever remember having. Now I remember having Starscream. I don't think that was mine either. I remember having Ramjet. I don't think that was mine either. But I remember talking about them whenever I did my video review on Starscream. And something that I also remembered that I used to do was I would take the wings off of them and just have the fuselage, and I used to play like that was like a spacecraft. So you would have it sitting up, you would flip its feet down, and that was like the ramp, because it always had arrows on it. I was like, well, that always looks like a loading dock or something like that, where they're telling you to go up or down or whatever. So I was like, that's just a loading dock that gets into the spaceship. And, you know, you use your own imagination type thing as a kid, and you play with your toys. And that was how something that I did at points. I remember having Optimus Prime, and I think that was something that I got for Christmas. I kind of remember, and I kind of don't. Like, I remember having the hose and then losing it right away. The hose for the gas pump. But it's like, do I remember that, or was that something that I remember from Mask? Because I remember having something from Mask that had a little hose like that also. So I don't remember if that was, but I remember having G1 Optimus. Now with Transformers, the first thing that I remember, the first Optimus or the first Transformer that I really remember playing with a lot was Power Master Optimus, and I had him, and wherever I went, I took him with me. If we went to, like, if my mom had a meeting for Boy Scouts, I would go along and I would take that and I would play with it, and I would play with it and play with it and play with it. And luckily, I had no issues with mine. I didn't break anything on it. I had everything up until the point where I sold it. I remember asking my mother one year for Christmas. I wanted the G2. Gosh, my friend, he's gonna get completely It was BB and Starscream. It wasn't BB and Starscream. It was Dirge. Not Dirge. Oh gosh, it was the stealth bomber that had the guy that went inside of him. No, I'm not gonna look it up. But I remember asking for that one, and I got it. And it was a G2 that I had, and I really like that because the Gatling missiles and stuff like that on it, and that they went inside each other. But that was one figure that I really liked. And then another one that I remember getting was G2 Bruticus. And I remember I would go and I would mow my grandmother's yard, and she would give me $20 to mow her yard, and it was a really big yard. So it's not like it was really a lot in today's standards, but she'd give me that, and I'd go down there every week and I'd mow her yard, mow her front yard and her backyard. And I would always ask her after we got finished, hey, can you take me to here? Can you take me to there? Usually I would ask her to take me to Kmart. And at the time, those were still open. They're not open anymore. I don't remember if we went to Kmart, if we went to Target. It was either Kmart or Target that we went to. Because I just remember the location. Because our Kmart closed, and then the Target opened there. And it's not even a Target anymore. They had a Garden Ridge Pottery there that closed, and they opened up something else. So it's weird in that area. All they have out there now is just a Walmart basically. But I remember going, and they had G2 Bruticus there, and they had all the little parts. They had all of them, and I wanted to get them, but I didn't have enough. So I asked my grandma. I was like, hey, if you get me the rest of these, then I won't charge you next week for you don't have to pay me anything next week for mowing your yard. And so I got it, and I had all the pieces, and I had that up until I sold it. So it's kind of sad, the circumstance that happened behind that. Maybe for another day we'll tell that story. But that's my Transformer story. So Bobcat asked me a couple of questions. He kind of had some questions that ran, and see, his is the thing. He mentioned about the almost me having 3,000 subscribers, but not having any views, and he thought maybe it's a summer thing. I don't think it's a summer thing because I've almost done it for like half a year now. I've been doing these daily videos for half a year now, and still it's not at the viewership that it used to be at. Where videos where I'm getting like 200 to 300 views on, like the Devastator, like the G1 Devastator that I did. Oh yeah, I had G1 Devastator, and I talked about that with Devastator. But where I talked about that kind of video would have gotten me well over 1,000 views back before I stopped. So it has to be something with the algorithms. It has to be something like that. But he asked about my Rubik's Cube, and I wanted to do a video. I wanted to properly answer that question this week, but I can't. I can't really answer that question this week because I used to, like, my idea was that I was going to teach myself again how to solve it. And I can solve the first two levels. As you can see, I've solved the first two, the top and then the middle layer. Well, the bottom layer is the hardest to solve. There's a few steps in that, and then you have to remember, I think, like 2 or 3 different algorithms to get that completed. And I can't remember them. I finally found, like at the beginning of the week, I've been looking for videos. There specifically was one guy that taught me how to solve it, and his seemed the most forward-thinking, the way that I think, and I couldn't find his video anywhere. I was looking, and I would find all these different videos. It would seem like it was right, and then they would flip the cube, and I was like, no, that's not how I learned how to do this. So I was searching, and finally I found him. I found them finally. So I was gonna teach myself again how to do it, and I retaught myself how to do the first 2 levels. That 3rd level, I haven't had enough time to teach myself how to do it. But if you want to learn, this is the guy that, and you probably can't see that very well, but this is the guy that that I watch. It's the Surges B tutorials. The THE Surges SERGE and then B, and he has tutorials on there, and he teaches you how to do all of the Rubik's cubes. He has 4x4s on there. He has the 3x3. I think he even has the 2x2, but that's probably pretty easy. I think he goes even higher than that, where he teaches you how to solve them. And he's really good. That's the guy that I learned probably about a year or 2 ago how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Like I said, I can't remember that 3rd layer, that bottom layer. So now something else I kind of wanted to talk about was movies, things that I watch. So they're asking like, what do you collect now? Like, that's what Bobcat asked. He has like, what do you collect now? And I don't really collect a lot anymore. I don't have a lot of room in where I currently live. I think if we moved someplace else, if we had the opportunity to move out of where we're living right now and the situation that we're in, I think I would start collecting a little bit more. My collection now, like I used to have a collection of Masterpiece Transformers. And that was my collection. I had 2D TOF cases, and they were full of Masterpiece Transformers. Now recently, like once again, like all things kind of cycle around, I had to sell those. And I sold them, and now I kind of wish that I didn't, but it's there. It's whatever. The things that I kind of are collecting now are the build projects that I'm doing now. Those I'm keeping. I don't have any ideas of selling those at any point. The things that I've kept so far are the Solar Chogokin Megazord and Dragonzord. I don't have any plans on selling those. Now, if they go crazy prices, kind of like Voltron did, maybe then. I don't know. And recently I saw that Big Bad Toy Store reposted Voltron up, and they had them for like $500. And I was like, I wish I had that money, because I would have, if I had $500, I would have blown it right then and there, because that was like a no-brainer. If you go on anywhere else, like on eBay and stuff, you're seeing them for $1,000 easily. The Voltrons, the Soul Chogokin Voltrons. I'm just like, man, I wish I would have been able to buy it whenever it came out, and I saw it at Toy Dojo. I saw it at Toy Dojo. I was like, hey, I'm gonna wait on this. I didn't buy it. So now, what do I really collect? So I have those figures. I have my my builds, my DeLorean, my R2. Maybe one of these days the Millennium Falcon and the new build. So I have that. That has come in. First 4 issues have come in. First 4, 3, 4. So I'm gonna show that off tomorrow. Make sure you come back here tomorrow to see all the new stuff and what we're gonna do for next week, because it's gonna have some new stuff. What do I collect now? I collect movies, really. That's the only thing that I really have that I buy. And some of that stuff I've sold also. So it's like, do I watch it over and over again? No, not really. Do I think I'm going to watch it over again? No. Can I find it on Netflix? Nah, I'll get rid of it then. And you know how Netflix, they move in and out of their stuff anyways. I'm kind of bumping the desk, and it's causing the boom arm to kind of flop. So, what do I have? You know, you have to have the what do you enjoy? That's what you're gonna buy, what you enjoy, and most of the stuff that I buy are things that I enjoyed whenever I was a kid. So you can kind of see some of the stuff here. So first of all, you know, you gotta have, if you're gonna have a Transformers toy review site, you have to have your G1 Transformers. So I have both the G1 movie on DVD and on Blu-ray. I haven't opened the Blu-ray yet. I bought the metal case version of them. And then I got my the complete series. I have that. I originally had the individual ones. Oops. I originally had the individual ones. I bought all those. I ended up selling those, and I bought this. So maybe my wife bought this for me. I don't remember. I think I specifically asked for this if she did buy it for me. So I have that. Everybody knows I love. Out of backwards. I love Star Wars, and this is the best copy that I found so far. Hopefully, Disney will catch a drift or catch a clue and release the originals. I kind of have been recently thinking about going back and rebuying the VHSs, just so I can have an original copy of the trilogy. I think that this original, it says it has the digital remastered and original theatrical trilogy. I don't know. I'll have to watch them again. But I got these. So I got all three of these. I have the prequels also. I have all the new stuff, but this is the original is the best. You know, Mark Hamill. What's my son's name? That's an easy one. These are some of my favorite movies. This right here. Like, if you asked me what my favorite movie series was, this would probably come up. And it would be The Evil Dead. These, I don't know how many times I've watched these. I have The Evil Dead 1, The Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, the collector's edition of Army of Darkness that has the alternate ending, the I slept too long ending. It's another fun story with that. Some of my friends, we were playing Shadowrun, and I don't know if you're familiar with Shadowrun, but it's in the future, and you have it's just in the future. I don't know if you haven't watched it, if you don't understand Shadowrun. There's a movie, I think it's Johnny Pneumatic. Watch that. And that's basically Shadowrun the movie. So watch that and you'll understand. So in this post-apocalyptic type setting that it's not really post-apocalyptic, you know, it's in the future, way in the future. You have different settings. So you have technology, you have technology junkies, you have mutants, you have all kinds of stuff like that. So in this future, I really wanted to be Ash. And the GM was like, well, if you can convince me that for some reason he would be in this timeline, then I'll let you be him. All I had to say was, alternate ending. I slept too long. And guess what? I got to be Ash. So I didn't know what I was doing. I let him build my character anyways, and it seemed like he was a pretty good character. So I do have the remake, and I always thought that they should have made the main character. I thought they should have made her Ashley, just because that's Ash's name is Ashley. And I do have the first complete season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. And I've kept this. I bought this, and I've kept it. I think that now it's on Netflix, I think. I don't know. It's kind of weird that Stars would be on Netflix. Do I have something? Why do I believe that this is on Netflix? But, so some of my favorite movies. We're going to get to some of my favorite movies. Oh, before I go to that, I almost forgot. So I actually got to meet Bruce Campbell a few years ago. Did he put the date in there? Wow, 2002 on October 7th, 2002, I got to meet Bruce Campbell. In Houston, he had a screening of Bubba Hotep. And I don't know how I found out about it. I think I found out about it through my friends. And I went. And he had his book signing there too. So he was there. He was promoting his movie. It was before he found a distributor for it. And went in, got a signature, had to buy the book. But it's a good book. It's a really good book. If you haven't read this book and you're a fan of Bruce Campbell, read this book. It's about like all their zany adventures of whenever he was a kid with Sam Raimi, with his brother Theodore Raimi, and the things that they used to do, because they grew up together. They all grew up together, and it's just a story full. It's a book full of stories, and if chins could kill, Confessions of a B-movie actor. So, and I got to meet him. So he's like, "Hey, Glenn," that's my real name. If you didn't know, "Hey, Glenn," and he signed it and he dated it. So. Very cool, very cool. That's probably another question that you could ask. Hey, what's your real name? You just found out there. Favorite movies. Favorite movie trilogy other than Star Wars or Evil Dead, or I don't know what else I was thinking about Star Wars. Is Back to the Future. And you know, it's kind of a no-brainer because I'm building the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is the DVD set that came with all three, and then I ended up getting this flux capacitor version of it, and I believe this is Blu-ray. I believe I bought the Blu-ray version of it, and it comes with like all kinds of stuff in it. It came with an animated series in it. You can see the animated series. It came with a trilogy. It came with a book. Just all kinds of stuff in here. But the awesome feature is that it lights up, which it's not really lighting up correctly, but you see it lights up, and it's really bright. I took the sticker that came on the outside of it and just put it right here. Now, cartoons that I grew up with in high school, in that area, like high school, middle school, stuff that I remember coming home and watching. Mainly was, oh, come on. I think I have every single issue, is Batman the Animated Series. This was like my go-to. I remember coming home, I would watch this every single day. Every day, I would watch it. And I have all four of the volumes. I don't know. I haven't opened all of them. I started watching this one. I haven't finished it yet. So, something that I collect, you know. There were other TV shows that I watched. You have your Ninja Turtles. This was a little bit older. This wasn't while I was coming in. I ended up getting this. I got this. I still have the box for it. I just pulled this out. I ended up getting this when it was cheap. When it first came out, I think I got it for like $80. Everybody was like turning around and selling them for like $200-300. And I found mine at, oh gosh, they closed them, at Hastings. And I found it there, and when I saw it, right then and there, I bought it. And one of the employees got kind of upset because they were like, "Oh man, I was gonna buy this at the end of the day if nobody bought it. Should have hit it. Oh well." But it comes with all the episodes now. They do have an alternative to this because this was $80, I think, when it first came out. I've seen at Walmart, they have a kind of a big clamshell type thing. It's kind of like the Super Sentai big clamshell things. I'll show you what one of those looks like in a little bit. It comes with all of the episodes, and it's about $50. So that's a good alternative now to this right here. If you don't really want, this is like a display piece. Like you're gonna hold it, you're gonna keep it out, you're gonna keep it on top. It doesn't really fit in anything that holds DVDs. So if you want something that you're gonna put on a shelf, with all your other DVDs, that $50 one, if you want something that you're going to display, that's real nice. That's a good one for you. So that was something that I used to watch, Batman. Now, the other thing that I used to watch whenever I was growing up. Now, this was a thing that I would watch, and I know my friends would watch, but nobody would ever say that they watched it. It was kind of a faux pas type thing. Like, everyone watched it, but nobody would ever admit to watching it. And it was Power Rangers, which it's different now. Things are way different now with Power Rangers. Power Rangers is like a mainstream thing. You see, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Back then, if I wore a t-shirt, no. You know how much I would be made fun of for wearing a Power Ranger t-shirt? You just didn't do that. And things have changed so much. Like things that we liked back then, like comic books and stuff where we got made fun of, it's kind of a pop culture thing where it's hip and trendy now. And that's kind of a thing that kind of irks me. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm going off into a rabbit hole. But somebody ask me about that next time. Somebody ask me about pop culture, like how it's gone off the deep end kind of thing. And I'll do my little rant then. But Power Rangers, it was so cheesy, but everybody watched it, everybody liked it. I actually got to meet Bulk and Skull. Let's see here. I have my picture right over here. I wasn't planning on showing it, but I just thought about it. It's about 2 years ago at Alamo City Comic Con. I got to meet him. This was so as part of our volunteering, being part of staff, we get one photo op, and this was the photo op that I wanted to do. I asked over and over and over again. They're like, no group pictures, no group pictures. I was like, they don't do single pictures. And they finally said yes. So I got to do a photo op with Bulk and Skull. And this was so fun. This was so fun. You can see how I'm laughing. And they did a really good job. The guy in front of me, they picked him up and were holding him by his elbows and his arms, like holding him up like they were going to carry him away in his pictures. I thought it was kind of cool. Now, the next year, I got to meet Pauly Shore, and here's me and my wife meeting Pauly Shore, and you can see me, I don't look too happy, and that mainly was because I don't know how to say this PG. He was something. I don't know. Like I went up to him and his thing was the whistle. I don't know if you guys remember this. Hey, it's the whistle kind of thing. And I went up to him and I was like, it's the whistle kind of thing. And I was doing it to him so he could do it back. And he just like hopped back and he was like, whoa, like. And it threw me off. It completely threw me off. I was just like, okay, well, I don't know what to do now. So I just stood there for my picture and I'm like, so I think if I would have paid for that picture, I would have been really upset. And since I didn't have to pay for it, I was okay. But my wife was like, I don't care, I'm just going to get in here and kind of thing. And it seemed fine. He didn't say a word to anybody while he took pictures. I thought maybe he lost his voice, but then I heard him over the intercom later on talking about, hey, come see the whistle over here. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. So, cartoons. Oh, man. You know, I forgot about this. When I was talking about Ninja Turtles. I guess I kind of segue into this with the Alamo City thing. So this is something that I've kept. It's this. It's the volume 1 of the Ultimate Collection Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is the original comic, and I got. What is this? Oh, hey, this is my my wife's signed print by the April O'Neil. What was her name? Judith Hogg. And I got this signed by Kevin Eastman. So it's really awesome. I got that signed. That year I wasn't actually working. I went there as a guest. That was the first year that I ever went. I went there. I had original Ninja Turtles. Original, I think it was 10 backs. Original 10 backs. All 4 of the Ninja Turtles, because they had all 4 of the voice actors. And I had each one of them sign them. I turned around and sold them. I'm not going to tell you how much I sold them for. I sold them for a lot because no one had ever seen that. And I kind of wish I hadn't sold them still. But, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, do you sell them or do you not? I got them authorized. I had a guy walk through the line with me to authenticate the signatures. They made certificates of authenticity, everything like that. So the person that has them now, they're probably locked up in a vault. They'll probably never see the light of day again, because I guarantee that is the only set of those signatures that you'll probably ever find on those figures. I saw one other guy with a set of 4 turtles, but they were in poor condition. Like, I went out and I cherry picked these. I was buying sets and stuff like that, reselling them so I could find the best figures possible. And these were perfect. Like, if I had the money, I would have gotten them graded, kind of thing. I wish I kind of would have. I probably could have sold them for twice as much then. I didn't do that. I needed the money. But hey, I'm getting to 35 minutes already. Let's get this done with. So we got that. Let's talk about Super Sentai. Super Sentai. I got a bunch. And I haven't watched hardly any of it. I need to. Super Sentai. So I almost have everything that's out. I think there's a few things that are out right now that I don't have. Maybe 2 different sets. So I got this is Zoo Rangers. So this is season 1. This is Die Ranger, which this was season 2. Then Kaku Ranger, I think it is. This was season 3. Then you have O Ranger, which was this was Zeo. Then you have Car Ranger, which this was I figured they would say in the back of the bio back here, but they don't say. It's a RPM, I think it was. Turbo. Then you have Mega Ranger, which was in space. Then you have Giga Man, and this was Thunder, Animal Thunder. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. This looks like Rodan right here. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like a Godzilla monster on there. I'm gonna have to watch these at some point. I really want to. It's a big monkey, and then they're on horses right there. Lost Galaxies, maybe that's what this one was. I think this was Lost Galaxies. So I got those. Last few things. So I'm gonna wrap this up because we're getting really long on this. So these are 2 things that are really this movie right here was the first movie that I ever watched. I ever remember seeing in the movie theater. I remember seeing Back to the Future 2. I never got to see Star Wars, original Star Wars. I got to see the special edition trilogy. I got to see that in theaters. but I never got to see the originals. But this is the very first movie that I remember seeing, and I remember falling asleep during it and then waking up. Top Gun, Top Gun. This movie. I don't know why. I don't know why it's such. Maybe it's just because it was the first movie that I ever watched. I had the Nintendo game when I was a kid. I could never land the damn thing, but I had the game. I've done research on this movie, and I'm glad that they're finally gonna do a Top Gun 2. I'm not holding my breath on it that it's gonna be good. I know Val Kilmer's gonna be in it, but Val Kilmer has had issues. He's had a lot of health issues, and I know his voice is shot. He sounds like he smoked like a carton of cigarettes a day for like 50 years. I think he had throat cancer or something, and it saddens me because he's other than Keaton, he's like one of my favorite Batmans. Whenever I saw that he was coming to Batman, I was like, ooh, Iceman, kind of thing. And I did get to see him when he was at Alamo City. I didn't get to get anything signed from him because he did have a curtain around him. But I did get to see him when he was there, and that was cool. But Top Gun, that was the very first movie that I ever watched. The house that Charlie lived in, it still exists. It's still there. And it's the only house on that street. Like that block where there was a ton of houses, that's the only house that's there anymore. And it's so sad. Like when I would look at pictures of it, it makes me like I get sad at this house. I don't know why. I don't know why I have a connection with this house, but I feel like super sad. Like half of the house is gone. Like half of the back of the house is gone. Part where they filmed the kitchen where he came in, like he pulled up his motorcycle, came back around, and then he came in where she was like inside. Because at first, whenever he goes up, he like knocks on the door, the front door, and he like looks at his watch and he's kind of like, oh crap, he was late. So he hops off and he comes around and he sees her there. The door's open. And he comes in, and that part of the house is gone. The back porch is gone. I don't know what happened to it. Like I can't find any information. I don't know if it like burned down, if the people that own the house just tore that part down, if it got damaged in a storm or hurricane or tornado or something. But the only part that's still there is the front half of the house, and that area doesn't look like it used to with all the palm trees and stuff, and it looked real nice. And originally some of the ideas for that house were that they were going to take it and move it as part of a resort. They haven't done anything on it. They've renovated it some, the outside. I don't know what they've done with the inside at all. I don't know if any of it is original or anything. Gosh, I wish I could go back in time and save it. And just, I don't know, that would be one of my things. If I invented time travel, I would save that house. I would go and buy it and save it. But I don't know. So that's one of the things. The one last thing is like one of the best cartoons that I've ever watched. Very story driven, very good story, and it's not the classic archetype where the good guys always win. It's set in the future, and it's set on Earth, and the humans, they create this race. It's kind of a slave race. They use them to build all their stuff, to build their cities, to do all this stuff, and they revolt and they get away. They get free. Well, the humans, they have this technology that they use to suppress them again. Well, after a while, their creation then gets that technology, and they drive them from Earth. And the humans have to go live basically out in space, in a space colony. They gather their forces, they go to attack Earth, and fell miserably. They fell so bad. And it's like, it's not just humans. It's not just the beings that they create that attack them. It's pirates. It's, you know, other humans attacking them. And you know, it's so sad. And I can't remember if they ever get back, if they ever save, or if they ever get their homeland back. But it's Exo Squad. Exo Squad was so good, and they only have the first season on DVD. They don't even have the second season on DVD anymore. I know it used to be on Hulu, first and second season. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know if it's still on there, but the toys were great. The TV series was great. This thing, like, I wish they would have been able to kept doing it, because they actually got the license, or were able to get an agreement with not Macross, it's Robotech, and they had a Veritech in this size, and it's so hard to find. It's so hard to find. It's really expensive if you find one on eBay in a box and stuff, but that's really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and call that a night, because we're already at like over 45 minutes. So I want to thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to my rant. Just spending some time with me, getting to know me. I really appreciate it. Post some more questions and I'll answer them. I'm not gonna do a Q&A next weekend, because like I said, I'm gonna be out at Bussey's. We're gonna be selling some stuff. Just some garage sale stuff, so make a little bit of money. I'm gonna have some friends out there. We're all gonna be out there selling. So if you live in New Braunfels, San Antonio area, even Austin area, come out there and check us out. We're gonna be out there all day. Hit me up on my Facebook if you want to know what our table is and you want to come by and say hi. I'm always up for meeting people. So, all right. Once again, thanks for watching. This is Tambiota, and I'll see you next time.